a hero abroad and a stranger in your own backyard. And thanks to Miss Elaine Turner, we take pride in the musicians who have come from this historical street, Beale Street, and we like to always hold them up and say how proud we are of them. Moving right along, we're going to follow the program, and I want to blame starting late on me. I was late. So, housekeeping, being late. Check mark right there. But we're going to move right along and keep the program going. I would like to first start with accolades from our elected officials, and they are here and present. And I would like to call up Councilman Myron Lowry from the Memphis City Council. And from Shelby County Mayor Mark Luttrell's office, Ms. Phyllis Fickling, and I think Ms. Fickling is going first. Give her a round of applause.
Thank you, Leon, and good evening to all of you. Good evening. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, that's not me. Okay. Okay, I just wanted to bring you greetings to this evening from Mayor Mark Luttrell's office, and also just wanted to thank you for inviting us to be a part of this, I guess for the third year now. I think this is the third time I've been here. And with this, we brought a proclamation, and I also wanted to just, again, thank Elaine and her group for preserving Beale Street and the artists that come from Beale Street and make this occasion what it is. And with that, I'm not going to read the whole proclamation, but there are a couple of things because I wanted to acknowledge the recipients of these awards and also just the people who made Beale Street, Beale Street. Again, from whereas this year's awards are dedicated to Denise LaSalle, Queen of the Blues, who impacted Memphis music throughout the world, and Otis Clay, deep soul king who made most of his best-known records in Memphis during the early 1970s. And also for the others who are acknowledged here, Mark Anthony Lee, Solomon McDaniel, James Slim Jackson, and Homer Hamilton. And these awards are presented by the W.C. Handy Memphis Home and Museum Preservation Fund, and it will salute these great contributions from Memphis music legacy and other outstanding musicians and entertainers who have kept the Memphis musical tradition alive by sharing their talent and music love, the love of music worldwide. Now therefore, I, Mark H. Luttrell, Jr., Mayor of Shelby County, Tennessee, do hereby proclaim November 18, 2012 to be Heritage Tours Inc. Day in Shelby County. Thank you.
After a while, all the whereases begin to sound the same. But my proclamation from the City Council does basically the same thing, and it outlines the history of Miss Denise LaSalle and all of her wonderful hits. When she established an independent production company and wrote her first hit, who knows what that was? Trapped by This Thing Called Love, which reached #1 on the National R&B chart, #13 on the Hot 100 charts. It goes on and on about your career, Denise. You'd be proud, and one of these is in your packet. And for Otis Clay, he's become the standard bearer for Chicago's enduring soul tradition. He made the jump from gospel to secular music in what year? 1965. Singing with Chicago's wonderful records before moving to Atlantic Cotillion Subsidy in 1968. And who remembers his hit in 1972? Trying to live my life without regret. All right, this is up to you. Always wanted to do it. In the shower, my wife says I can sing. Out here on the stage, I'm just a political actor. Anyway, the proclamation also honors the authentic Beale Street musicians, Mark Anthony Lee, Solomon McDaniel, Homer Hamilton, and James Jackson. On behalf of the Memphis City Council, we love all of you. thank you so much for keeping the tradition of Memphis music alive. Thank you.
Myron and I do karaoke quite frequently together. I'm serious, y'all laugh. We've done it in Jamaica. Myron and I sings me all the time. Before we get to our, and there's a program change, get your pens out, program change. It says Dan Greer is next, he is not. I'd like to get Mr. Earl the Pearl Banks to the stage if I could. He's going to do a song for you. And while he's coming, I want to remind all of the honorees that Elaine has asked that we take a group picture somewhere in the next 10 minutes. So when she comes by and taps you on your shoulder, that's what that's about. And I don't know where the pose will be taken, but it will be somewhere close, I'm sure. So be mindful of that. I would like to give a nice round of applause to Mr. Randall Catron for this wonderful facility, beyond Danger, and his tremendous contributions to Beale Street and the Beale Street Preservation Society, as well as the merchants on Beale Street. Randall Catron is a true icon on Beale Street. You can't see him, he's back behind the bar, but let him know we enjoy being in his house and on his street. All right, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, a blues legend and a former honoree of this show, give it up for Mr. Earl Pearl Banks.
I remember Otis in 1952, myself and Muddy Waters playing at a place called Apex. In this club, that predominant white club, we played behind a curtain, where we played night in, night out, where they wanted to hear our music, but they didn't want to see our face. I'm happy with tears tonight because so much has went on for so much been forgotten. We come a long way, but not far enough. Reverend, well, my preacher, I won't call him name, but he know what I'm talking about. He's saying some good things. He's saying things people dare not say. Sometimes I speak some issue with my people that I get in trouble about because I talk firm and fast. Because I manage myself, I record myself, I feed myself, and nobody tell me what to do. I get in trouble with this from people around me who are close to me. But I thank people who are around close to me. You know what I'm talking about? Thank you for being close to me, to keep me around. I remember 1961, I had an accident coming from Rock Island, Illinois, playing myself and Ike Turner. At that time, Tina was with me. I had an accident. A truck hit my van, knocked me in a ditch. There were 10 trucks in the back of that truck. I was the only survivor of my drummer out of an accident. So I dug myself in the ground to get warm so my drummer and I would survive. Covered ourselves up and I couldn't hardly talk. He was out of it. Someone come and about daylight that morning said, "You see anybody with some sheriff or police or what have you?" Seemed to me it was all white guys. Someone said, "You see anybody?" And he looked at us and said, "No, just two N-words, you already buried, let's go." He left us there. 8 or 10 hours later, someone found us and took us to the hospital. I said that because I want you to think about what you're doing. We brought this music to Beale Street. I said I come here and played my first time, myself in 1951 or 52. From a little place called Homer, Haynesville, Louisiana, I left in 1947. Went to Pineville, Arkansas with my father. I'm saying that because Hannah reminded me of me. Because when I was 12 years old, with 10 children in the family, my daddy said, "You got to quit school and help me plow the mules and chop cotton because the other kids can't do it. You seem to be out," and all the rest of it. I was proud to be out. Didn't know it. I didn't know it. It's an advantage to me not going to school. So at 12 years old, as a biblical study, he said, "I want you to go and get a job at the gin where they chop cotton, plant cotton." I said, "I will." He said, "I want you to bring me the news." I was a little boy at a biblical study. As a biblical study, then I know when the disciple was talking about where Jesus was going to be, have his lost supper. Oh, there's know where I'm coming from. He said, "You go down to the fork of the road, see a man with a jug, follow him." There ain't much information. Another situation when he was coming back, preacher, you know where I'm coming from. He said, "How are you coming back and what are you going to look like?" He said, "You go down and you fetch this ass or this coat, this animal." He said, "Anybody have need of it?" Tell him. He said, "Anybody ask you about it?" He said, "I got need of it." There ain't much information. So I went to work for this man for $3 a week. My job was putting a rag in my pocket, some sand in my pocket. When the gentleman was talking about the dye joint around the table, which black people didn't know anything about dye joint. They were talking about what they're going to sell, how they're going to sell, and what not to sell. I was a little boy, I had sand in my pocket, sprinkled around the shoes, so I have a reason to wipe the shoes that drinks out the head in it. I was going to tell my daddy who was the Martin Luther King of the neighborhood. He said, "Son, what you heard today?" I said, "Don't sell no peanuts. Don't sell no cotton. But you sell the beans." That was the information. I said that because I want to play that. Because come on, guys. Somebody tell me how long, how long? How long? Somebody tell me how long, how long? If you don't know what I'm talking about my 40 acres and my mule. Granddaddy died waiting. My mama, she died waiting too. Martin Luther King died waiting. Tell me what about me and you? If you still confused, talking about my 40 acres and my mule. If you still confused, Elaine, it's good to meet you. It's good to know you. It's good to be with someone who understands about now, was, and the future. Thank you for keeping this alive. I don't know where everybody really understands it, but any day now. Any day now. To all you who receive anything tonight of award, we also receive it with you. Otis Clay, love you, brother. Sing my song. Today, Sel, my little sister, I love you, honestly. We all talk about it all the time. To all the other musicians who received your awards tonight, it's not the end of it. I can say it because I believe, I'm looking around, I believe I'm the oldest man in the house tonight. So I have a reason to say, well, I honor this. Thank you for what you do. My motto is that I must do all I can, what I can. There will come a time I can't do, that I won't regret what I did not do.
Hello. Wait. Hello. I forgot something that you told me to say. Can you say it? Oh, I'm gonna say it. Okay. All right. That's how they do it. You guys still having a good time? Say yeah. When I was little, my grandmother, I used to call her Big Mama, would put a little sugar on stuff we didn't like to put in our mouths, so we would put it in our mouths. Anybody with me? Anybody there? Yeah. Well, sometimes maturity means you need to take it straight with no sugar. How long? How long? It's not that anybody's fussing. But a squeaky wheel gets the grease. And musicians have been the lifeblood of the South. I'm not just talking about this street. I'm not just talking about this street. I'm not just talking about Bourbon Street in New Orleans, but musicians have been the lifeblood of the South since slavery. Since slavery. We have been the entertainers and the entertainment for the South. Not just the American South, but the South, or the across the track place everywhere on earth. And I really have a pride that wells up in me when Elaine Turner asked me to do this year after year, because it gives me an opportunity to actually come before people that I have admired all my life and speak with them, to them, and for them, and to those who come and gather to be with them and support this fine organization, the Heritage Foundation and Heritage Tours, and to support authentic Beale Street musicians. You have been a wonderful audience. We are not leaving because we have some musicians that are going to continue to play for at least another 20 minutes, according to this note right here. So before, that note line, Mom, also now you talk. Now you talk. Ladies and gentlemen, give yourselves, the audience, you have been so beautiful. Give yourselves a round of applause. The closing bids are being taken on the silent auction table, and somebody has made me pay more for that tithe than I want to. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Ladies and gentlemen, I will say it right this time. Would you please give a round of applause to these fine musicians on stage. Welcome Mrs. Elaine Turner back to the stage for just a minute as they begin to play. This is the authentic Beale Street Preservation Band.
Leon, for everything. Thank you to all the recipients for coming. We want to invite the recipients to the stage for our finale, so you can help us sing our closing here. Everybody knows this song, I know. So the guys are going to play it. If Ruby, we're going to hand the mic down to you. And Otis Clay, if you come on up for our finale, Bobby Rush.
singing just for you. If you